Oh man, we have Peter Ovo. Peter Ovo 2, the fall of Peter Ovo, or Peter Ovo 5 on Twitter, whatever the fuck, right? I mean, this guy is 100% an Xbox astronaut. If he landed on space and someone asked him to fall into a moon crater and have sex with Phil Spencer with no helmet on in space, while his brain just sort of collapses under the weight of stupidity, he probably would do that. He probably would reach his hand across the universe like Mr. Fantastic. He would reach like he's reaching with his tweets. Reach across the world and give this man a hand job. He's that dedicated to the cause. We have a number of tweets here that is just absolute stupidity. I'm gonna try to rapid fire some of them for personal entertainment. We're gonna go backwards here. The first one is today, Spider-Man 2 review scores drop. Finally, after 11 months, PlayStation first-party studios drop a game. That is true. Although there is third-party promotions and everything, you know, it's probably, you know, he's not mentioning any of that. And I think the Horizon DLC drop this year? And I don't think he's mentioning that. I'm pretty sure that came out, and you know, this shit happened there. But I don't know. I don't know when that released, but I'm pretty sure it was more than just one piece of content. I'm positive. He's like, see them in the next 11 months. Now we know, and I said this before, PlayStation needs to have transparency with what they're releasing next, because we don't know what is going on first party wise. However, I know that games take a long time to make under the AAA umbrella. I know that the rest of these studios are cooking something. It's not like they're not making anything, otherwise there wouldn't be this constant communication or Sucker Punch telling us, hey, no Infamous or Sly. That's a hint that a game is coming. They're working on something, just not the game that you expected. Same for Naughty Dog. Quiet, still working on new IPs. Everyone's working on stuff. I'm pretty sure in the next 11 months, there's no fucking way that there's not going to be a PlayStation showcase or anything. Or an announcement or something. Or a release. I guarantee you, you can quote this video now, I guarantee there will be 2 releases. So I'm gonna say 2. 2 forms. It could be anything, just so you don't get me saying, oh, you know, 2 games at the rate they're going. No, 2 forms of content. It could be DLC, standalone release, or a singular release, a full game of PlayStation first party content that we're gonna see in the next 11 months, along with the showcase. I guarantee it's that easy of a prediction. This is why this one is probably gonna go the way of the dodo. If it does, if they do it, cool. If they don't, I'll eat crow. Moving on. Now, Mighty Keith got in this man's guts. You were tilted, stirred, perturbed, destroyed at the mere notion of sarcasm. Look at what this guy is saying. It's not that serious, but I don't know why you treated it this seriously. You got Keithed on because he said, yes, I think if you play in a game that isn't by Sony, you are a failure and provide no purpose in society. That's like a low tier god tier quote. You serve no purpose in life for playing a PlayStation exclusive. I also think you smell like elephant back and eat the crusty pieces off your grandmother's toes. Which is, come on, with the way that's framed, that's obviously sarcasm. And you got him in here laughing. You taking this guy way too seriously. I know Mighty Keith from making like a bunch of sarcasm skits that he usually does on his feed. That's what he's known for, is making these current event topic videos in gaming and putting a funny twist on them. If you don't know the man by now, then clearly, like, for those saying it's a joke, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Yes, he calls out bullshit, but many people like many people make some of these videos and creations, they sort of do. Like, what the fuck is Fertanga saying? Oh, Baldur's Gate 3 loads faster on PC than PS5. No fucking shit. because it was ideally made for PC. You're telling the water's wet, the fire's hot, the sky is blue, the grass is green. What are you saying that people don't know by this point for how that game is optimized on PC versus console? Of course it is. That needs to be called out. And then there's this Starfield tweet. Now, I haven't gotten into all of the details of Starfield. I think it's dumb that this open world RPG is being compared to this sort of open world superhero beat 'em up game. I feel like that's dumb. But Keith said something important here, and he says, stop comparing apples to oranges. Because that's what it is. It's not the same sort of gameplay style. It's like third-person spaceman shooter versus I'm a superhero webs beating the stuffing out of thugs. They completely and fundamentally play different. What is he saying that's actually wrong? These are facts. You can make a serious sort of analysis on gaming and try to give your counterpoint while also being sarcastic in another tweet, which I don't know why you brought this up in the first place. You got keefed on, you got your guts reamed in, nerd get screwed, because that's exactly what happened. Here's another one, a leak from Michael Pachter. Spider-Man 2 started development as a multi-platform game coming to Xbox and PC. Sony stole Spider-Man from Xbox and PC gamers. Here's the thing, you know the thing about Xbox is when Insomniac was when they were an independent company, independent studio, and they did Sunset Overdrive, they could have bought them at any time. Phil's slinging all this money, slinging the money down the toilet, down the gutter, in the stripper's fucking G-string. He's slinging it, right? They had every perfect opportunity. And from all the reports I've seen, all they've done is turn down Insomniac and said, hey, just make Sunset Overdrive, that's it. Sony's gonna pick them up, no problem. They fumbled the bag. And then you made a typo here, which is even funnier. Correction, Spider-Man, not Spider-Man 2. What the fuck? Of course. Like, what are you... There's a lot of typos here. He said multi-layer earlier. I thought that was pretty hilarious. It's like multiplayer, you dumb mother effer. You dumb mother effer, right? And it's just, oh my god. And then some guy made a joke saying, oh, Microsoft, they stole like Starfield from the PlayStation gamers because, again, that's exclusive to that platform now, when there was docs also saying, oh, well, that was gonna be on PlayStation as well. Oh well, right? Ovo, booby, two wrongs don't make a right in this world, if that's your logic. Moving on. Now, I'm not gonna play the audio for this. I'm just gonna summarize it. Ovo made the statement about an IGN reviewer saying that Spider-Man 2, whoever is reviewing the game, saying that is going to be a 9 or higher. He's implying that, they're biased to give this review score. Which is fucking stupid, because the guy was just making a prediction at best, and the ensuing comments here says it all. I said Peter Ovo fails at knowing what the word prediction means. It doesn't mean guaranteed. It just means that it was a panelist podcast where one of the people said, I think Spider-Man should be guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but it's my prediction that Spider-Man should get nothing but a 9 out of 10. Just my prediction, assumption. It didn't even happen over at IGN because they gave Spider-Man 2, with the current review score, IGN, an 8 out of 10, not a 9. Therefore, you complained about nothing. And you couldn't understand what the word prediction meant. Then we go to this, it's just a whole load of pile of bullfuck, right? a whole load of pile of bullfuck. You know, I'm quoting that when I'm putting that in my urban dictionary for the night. Square Enix's stock and their prices have dropped 30%, wiping off $2 billion in value from Square Enix. Comes off the back of the weak launch of Final Fantasy 16 on the PlayStation 5. When I said that the launch of Final Fantasy 16 was weak, I got called all sort of names, including Xbox. And the sources below. Okay. There is a variety of reasons why Square Enix lost money. The main reason, of course, is because not only are they banking on the idea of NFTs, sell NFTs. We had 2 presidents that are interested in NFTs and nobody gives a fuck. We also had them selling off a lot of their key IPs from their Western division. Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, all that other stuff, gone to Embracer. You act like Legacy of Kain, gone. All that shit is gone now. Their only real baby is Final Fantasy and whatever else they got cooking up in the Japan stratosphere, because they sold it all off. And if you sell stuff off, Tomb Raider, of course, that's a big name, that's a big IP. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose interest. Final Fantasy is really all they got. Now, I'm not sure of the sales of 16, but I doubt that it's this colossal failure that was caused by any of the background shenanigans going on at Square Enix. They are just really bad at handling studios and philosophies, and they've been like that for a long time. So no, the Soul game is not the reason for all of those failures. And here's this shit. Oh my god, you're gonna make me defend a Souls game. And I don't like Souls games. But this is very unfair and disingenuous. Okay, my point of view, if Elden Ring was an Xbox exclusive, it would get unfairly rated as a 77. Are you fucking high? Are you fucking high? All of the outlets for Elden Ring was praising that game in the high 90s, and it wouldn't even matter if it was an Xbox exclusive or not. The critics spoke. They spoke on the game, which is why they gave it the score that they did. You know, Xbox games got high scores before in the past, like Gears of War. Fucking what else? Halo. I think Halo scored high 90s before, right? It had to. All the Bungie games are. You're gonna say, oh, because it was on Xbox, there's a media bias. You're one of those people who has their head arranged inside of a leprechaun's nutsack. What are you fucking on, bro? Like, I can't comprehend your massive stupidity. Let's continue on. It gets worse. Oh, here it is. All digital stuff. I know friends personally. They don't like digital gaming at all. They prefer physical. They don't care. Even if it's on the side of PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo, I got people that will defend tooth and nail physical media, and there's people on YouTube that will defend physical media because they don't want it to go away. Here you are talking about PlayStation all digital leaks. YouTubers, silence. Xbox all digital leaks. Xbox bad. Xbox is destroying gaming. No, I'm pretty sure one of the people he tagged here is Mutahar. And I'm pretty sure Mutahar, some ordinary gamers, I'm pretty sure that guy hates the fact that physical media is dissipating. He even said this when the Best Buy shit happened and how he was all against that. Right? So, I'm pretty sure if it came down to, and of course, I mean, you could say now Sony has the whole physical drive with theirs, right? I mean, we saw that come out officially. They have a physical drive, and you can also just go ahead and, if you have a digital PS5, even with those leaks, just get the drive for like $80 and you're good to go. You can play your physical games, right? With this, they want to make it more convenient, and of course, all digital Xbox. And again, they have the right to do that as long as they don't phase out the disc versions. I think that's also cool if they don't do that. If they start phasing it out, that's when it becomes an issue and a problem. And Peter Ovo, I don't know if you're aware, but on YouTube, if Sony makes just one little tiny fucky wucky, it doesn't even have to be a fucky wucky, it could be a simple accident or a mistake or misinterpretation, you know, anti-PlayStation channels will be on that like white on rice. They would. We have a lot of anti-PlayStation channels, so I don't know why you're directing the gun to Xbox specifically, as if people don't call out. I mean, let me rephrase that. I don't know why you're directing the gun to PlayStation specifically, as if people don't call out PlayStation and Xbox for a lot of reasons. If anything, I would say that, personally speaking, it's all across the board. And Phil Spencer wanted to buy out Nintendo, and nobody liked that. Nobody liked all this acquisition nonsense, and sometimes it is rightfully so, because all these companies need to stand out on their own. Sometimes you can buy companies and it's fine, you can buy your little companies, but he has been at it for the longest time, and all this stuff, whether the digital Series X lives up to expectations or fails, remains to be determined. It depends on how many features they decide to strip from the console outside of the discs. They say it's all improved, but they could always take more away. All PlayStation has is sequels. Okay, let's see. Ghost of Tsushima's not a sequel. That's when that came out in 2020. That was a new IP. Yeah. What else can I think of currently? I mean, I don't have any problem with sequels. I know it could be a thing as sequelitis in the gaming industry, where it's a bunch of sequels coming out left and right, but there is, I mean, Sony Ben's working on a new IP, Naughty Dog's working on a new IP, and probably Last of Us Part 3. What else? Every time I try to recall PlayStation Studios, I always draw a blank. I'm pretty sure Sucker Punch now is doing Ghost 2. That's off the table as a new IP. Then there's all the third-party indies they promote. You know, and then there's a third-party AAA or AA. I mean, Returnal was a new IP. PlayStation owns them. AA Studio. Just naming them, man. I don't know. I mean, Days Gone was a new IP. All Sony has is sequels. Yeah, it's like, yeah. You know, there's that point in time where The Last of Us was a new IP, and they weren't just doing Uncharted. They moved on to that. You know, like, yeah, all they have is sequels now. Of course. The Wolverine, that's a new IP for PlayStation. I mean, it's not uncommon that we didn't have Wolverine games, but that technically is exclusive and new to their catalog as far as that goes. That's not based on any pre-established game, you know, in terms of a sequel or anything. Like, it's not a sequel, that's for damn sure. Yeah, all they have is sequels. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna jet through these really quickly because he's giving me brain cancer. He's like 343 greater than Naughty Dog, blah blah blah. They can release single player campaigns and multiplayer services in one game. Naughty Dog can't. I actually liked Halo Infinite. Excuse me. Also, he said multi-layer, not multiplayer. That's weird. I liked Halo Infinite, and I thought it was fun. But the one thing that this game lacked for the multiplayer was the modes. Why did it take so long to put in Forge? Why did it take so long to put in more modes and, you know, the proper playlist system where it's like just a lot more to the game itself based on previous Halos? It was a lot missing. And now it's starting to get better because experimenting with new modes and putting in new things in the game and current existing modes as well. They had that little tiny battle royale thing. It was fun. It was great. I had a good time with that. However, that being said, 343 is known for having those modes fucking just gone to the wind. Pulled off a Harry Houdini. Who the fuck is he? Gone, right? And then Master Chief Collection. From what I understand, wasn't this game not only online and multiplayer, but when it launched, it had problems? 343, it had problems, right? For now, Naughty Dog has way more accolades than 343, way more Game of the Year contenders than 343, way more nominations there, and wins than 343, way more examples of launching a single player game that wasn't really broken compared to 343. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta really think about it. While factions might be on ice, where has 343 gone outside of scrutiny? This whole time, outside of more and more scrutiny. Now, Naughty Dog is getting that. Do I think it's fair? We gotta see what they're cooking. And then I will be the judge of what they do next. As a body of work, it's like night and day. I don't even know why you made this head-ass take over here, man. And this is just talking about his review score process, where he's talking about, a fair score for Spider-Man 2 from IGN is an 8. And then he said that a 7 for Starfield is mid, which doesn't make any fucking sense. I think Starfield should have scored like a 9. Okay, and it's like, you want it to be higher than Spider-Man. Your own personal review score is your own whatever the fuck, right? You don't need a site or publication to dictate that. However, that being said, I don't like this fucking terrible convention that, oh, if a game is a 7 or an 8, it's not good enough, it needs to be more. And if Spider-Man 2 was like a 9, you flip the fuck out and say that's unfair, but Starfield deserved that 9 in your honest opinion. But you rate games based on a bad faith basis, because not all games are rated the same. And it should be like this. A 7 is mid? What the fuck? That's a 5. A 0, unplayable. A 1, terrible. A 2, awful. 3, very bad. 4, bad. 5, mid. 6, good. 7, very good. An 8 is great. A 9 is excellent. A 10 is a masterpiece. Kind of how it should be, but no. A 7, not good enough. That's not a good score. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the I'm telling you, these people are on green cum. They run on green cum for a daily basis because I've never seen logic this inept in my entire life. It's that bad. Green cum, the Hulk's cum, just and then the last sort of example for Peter Ovo, and you kind of saw a glimpse of my counter arguments, is analysts say that Sony is under pressure to respond to the Microsoft Blizzard acquisition of Phil going out there and buying a lot of studios, sub-studio, sub-studio, sub-studio. My opinion is that there's nothing PlayStation can afford to acquire that will move the needle like Activision Blizzard. And this guy says, you have an unhealthy obsession with hating on PlayStation. They'll be fine. They were fine without Bethesda. Now with Spider-Man 2, they'll be way more than fine. Same with Nintendo and Super Mario Wonder. Great opinion. And Peter, you know, I'm not sure if you know, but I don't think they need to spend billions of dollars on a studio when Spider-Man 1 sold like 33 million copies, right? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of copies being sold that they didn't drop $1 billion on in order for a desperate plea to get their hands on Call of Duty. Now, I mean, Jim Ryan during this time, he was wildin', but still, I think the single player resource and the way those games sell, like God of War, Spider-Man, as long as they got those under their belt, Last of Us, it's gonna be okay. I think they'll be fine. We're talking about like a dozen million fucking copies sold on these big brand IPs. You say, hey, all they got is sequels. Those sequels are about to make big money. Big money. It's a marketing strategy at this point. You know, I do encourage the creation of new IPs, but still, you gotta think outside the box, man. Like Peter Ovo, man. Come on, man. At first, like I said, this guy was not that bad. He was just doing basic gaming news, but now he has turned into one of the most intriguing green cum-brained idiots I've ever seen on this app, and it only gets worse from here. Taking Keith seriously, not understanding sarcasm, just being plain oblivious to information. This is what this mentality breeds in the console war. And there's so many drones that will follow in the footsteps of people like this and constantly make misinformation all the time. It's a fucking shame. It's a fucking travesty, but hey, it fuels more stupidity for us to laugh at. Bozos like this, dumbass mother effers like this. I'm Renegade Operative, I'm signing off. This is the roast of Peter Ovo done. If he says anything else extravagantly stupid, let me know in the comment section below and I will comment on it as usual. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, and remember, fuck this narrow-minded view. Fuck this narrow-minded mentality of just having one console per generation and having folks be utterly miserable over pieces of plastic to go out and either threaten people or make stupid ass like misconceptions or drive an entire channel off of that. Be a hybrid gamer. I promise you'll be a lot more happy with just fucking 2 platforms and that's it, or maybe 3 if you're lucky. I understand, like, gaming is, you know, gaming out here is gonna cost you a pretty penny. I understand that, but still, you gotta diversify, man, because you'll be just as miserable as this dude. Like, you'll be just as miserable as him. I'll see you guys next time. Later.